stand at the base of a towering structure, gazing up at a skeletal frame of stone and steel piercing the sky. This is no ordinary building, it's your legacy, a monument to your dreams. But right now it's incomplete, a mere idea trembling under the weight of doubt. What separates you from those who built empires, crafted masterpieces, or changed the world? It's not talent or luck. It's habits, the unseen bricks, that form the foundation of greatness. Without them, your tower will crumble before it ever touches the heavens. Welcome to the journey of transformation, where we uncover the 10 habits of all successful people. In this first step, we lay the groundwork focusing on 2 unshakable pillars: vision and discipline. These are the first bricks you must place, the bedrock upon which all other habits rest. You are the builder, and every choice, every action is a chance to raise your tower higher. Feel the weight of this moment. Are you ready to construct a life that endures? Let's begin by forging the foundation of your greatness brick by brick until your legacy stands tall for all to see. Picture yourself as a young dreamer sitting alone in a dimly lit room, surrounded by scraps of paper scribbled with half-formed ideas. You've got a fire in your chest, a longing to create something extraordinary, a business, a book, a movement. But every time you start, the path blurs. You chase one idea, then another, scattering your energy like seeds on barren ground. Months pass and nothing takes root. The world moves on while you're stuck, haunted by the question, why can't I make this real? This was Maya's story. At 25, she dreamed of launching a sustainable fashion line, a brand that would merge beauty with purpose. But her mind was a storm of possibilities: designs, marketing plans, funding ideas, none of them clear. She'd sketch for hours, then abandon her work for a shiny new concept. Friends called her creative, but she felt like a failure, her dreams slipping through her fingers like sand. One night, exhausted by indecision, Maya sat down and asked herself a piercing question: what do I truly want to build? Not just today, but 10 years from now. She grabbed a notebook and wrote one sentence: I will create clothing that heals the planet and inspires others. That was her vision, a lighthouse cutting through the fog. From that moment, Maya stopped chasing every idea. She focused. She researched eco-friendly materials sketched with purpose and sought mentors who shared her values. Her vision became her compass, guiding every decision. Slowly, her tower began to rise, a brick of clarity laid with intention. Today, Maya's brand is a beacon for sustainability, but it started with that single, unshakable vision. Her lesson is yours: without a clear destination, you'll wander forever. Vision is the first brick in your legacy, the blueprint of your tower. Lay it with care. Now imagine yourself as an athlete lacing up worn-out sneakers on a cracked asphalt track. You dream of crossing finish lines, of feeling the roar of a crowd as you claim victory. But every race ends the same defeat. Your legs burn, your lungs scream, and you collapse watching others surge ahead. You tell yourself, I'll train harder tomorrow. But tomorrow comes and you sleep in. Or you push too hard one day, then skip the next. Inconsistency is your silent saboteur. This was Ethan's struggle. A college runner with raw talent, he had the speed to win, but lacked the structure. He'd train sporadically, sprinting one week, slacking the next. At meets, he'd falter, outpaced by athletes who seemed less gifted, but more prepared. After a crushing loss at regionals, Ethan sat on the bleachers staring at the empty track. He realized talent wasn't enough. He needed discipline, the second brick in his tower of success. So he crafted a routine: wake at 5 a.m., run 5 miles, strength, train, rest. No excuses. Rain or exhaustion, he showed up. At first it felt like dragging boulders up a hill, but each day his body adapted, his mind sharpened. Discipline became his forge, tempering his will into unbreakable steel. 6 months later, Ethan crossed the finish line first, not just in a race, but in his battle against himself. His tower grew taller with every disciplined step. As James Allen wrote in As a Man Thinketh, the oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg, and in the highest vision of the soul, a waking angel stirs. Discipline awakened Ethan's potential. It can awaken yours. Lay this brick beside vision and watch your foundation strengthen. Let's pause and look deeper. Vision isn't just a goal. It's the flame that lights your darkest hours. It's the image of your tower fully built, standing defiant against time and storm. Without it, you're a builder without a blueprint, piling bricks aimlessly until they collapse. Vision gives your efforts meaning, a reason to rise when the world weighs you down. Think of every great achievement, every invention, every revolution. They began with someone who saw what others couldn't. They saw a tower where there was only dirt. How many times have you drifted chasing fleeting distractions instead of a singular purpose? How often have you let the noise of doubt drown out the quiet voice of your true calling? Vision is your rebellion against chaos. It's the act of saying, "This is what I will build no matter the cost." Like a river carving through stone, it starts small, a whisper of what could be, but over time it shapes mountains. As you lay this first brick, ask yourself, what do I see when I close my eyes? Paint that picture in vivid detail. Let it pull you forward even when the ground beneath you shakes. Your tower depends on it. Now turn your gaze to discipline, the iron that holds your tower together. It's not glamorous. It's not a burst of inspiration or a fleeting thrill. It's the quiet, grinding work of showing up when every fiber of you screams to stop. Discipline is the builder who rises before dawn, hands calloused to place one more brick. It's the force that transforms vision from a dream into stone-hard reality. Without it, your tower is a fragile sketch, easily toppled by the winds of distraction or despair. Consider this pain as not your enemy. It's your forge. Discipline teaches you to endure, to press on when the weight feels unbearable. It's the storm that tests your structure, revealing cracks before they become ruin. Why do so many falter here? Because discipline demands sacrifice, time, comfort, instant gratification. But in that sacrifice lies power. Each disciplined act is a brick mortared with sweat and resolve, building a legacy that time cannot erode. So stand firm. Embrace the grind. Let discipline shape you as a blacksmith shapes steel until you're unbreakable. Let's turn philosophy into action. Building a clear vision isn't a vague, mystical process. It's a deliberate choice. Start tonight. Grab a notebook or open a blank page on your device. Write down one question. What do I want my life to stand for? Don't overthink it. Let your heart answer. Maybe it's creating a family legacy, launching a movement, or mastering a craft. Be specific. Instead of "I want to be successful," write "I will build a community center that empowers youth through art." See it. Feel it. Next, break that vision into a single, vivid image, your tower at its peak. Picture yourself standing before it years from now. What do you see? Write that down too. Keep this vision close, read it daily. When doubt creeps in, let this image be your anchor. Finally, align one action today with that vision. A small step, a call, a sketch, a plan. Lay that first brick, as Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, start conceiving, start believing. Your tower awaits. Discipline is your next tool, and it's forged through small, consistent choices. Begin by picking one area of your life tied to your vision, health, work, learning. Set a non-negotiable routine. If it's health, commit to walking 20 minutes every morning. If it's work, block an hour each day for focused effort. No excuses. Set an alarm if you must. Tell yourself, "I show up no matter what." When resistance hits, and it will pause, breathe. Remind yourself why this matters. Tie it to your vision. Write down one reason to keep going, even if it's as simple as "I'm building my tower." Track your progress. Mark each day you follow through on a calendar. Watch the chain grow. If you falter, don't spiral. Reset. Lay the next brick. Discipline isn't perfection, it's persistence. Over time, these small acts will stack into a wall of strength, unyielding and tall. Start now. One choice, one step. Build. Step back and see the broader truth. Habits like vision and discipline aren't just tools, they're the essence of who you become. Every great builder, every artist, leader, or innovator understood this. They knew that success isn't a destination. It's a structure painstakingly crafted over years. Your tower isn't built in a day. It rises through the quiet moments, the unseen struggles, the choices no one applauds. Vision gives it direction. Discipline gives it form. Together, they create a foundation that no storm can shake. Have you ever considered what your legacy will be? Not the accolades or wealth, but the mark you leave on the world. A tower isn't just stone, it's a story. It's proof you stood here, fought here, built here. Each habit you forge is a brick in that story, a testament to your resolve. So don't rush, don't despair. Lay each brick with intention. Trust that in time your tower will rise a beacon for others, a symbol of what's possible when you commit to greatness. As we close this first chapter of your journey through the 10 habits of all successful people, let the lessons of vision and discipline sink deep. These are the foundation of your greatness, the first bricks in a tower that will stand as your legacy. You've seen Maya transform her scattered dreams into a guiding light through vision. You've witnessed Ethan rise from defeat to triumph through discipline. And you've felt the philosophical weight of these habits, the call to craft a life of purpose and strength. The takeaway is clear: success begins with a clear vision and is sustained by unwavering discipline. You are the builder. Every thought, every action shapes your monument. Start small, but start now. Lay these bricks with care, knowing each one brings you closer to the sky. As we move forward, we'll add more habits to your arsenal, raising your tower ever higher. For now, hold this truth close: you have the power to build something eternal. Keep placing one brick at a time with vision to guide you and discipline to ground you. Final mantra: lay each brick with purpose. Your tower will touch the heavens. You stand on the edge of a battlefield, the clash of steel echoing in your ears. Before you lies an enemy far greater than any army resistance. It creeps into your mind as doubt whispers, as distraction, and strikes as setback. Will you falter, or will you forge ahead? In the journey of success, this is your proving ground. Like a warrior sharpening a blade, you must hone your resilience and focus. Habits 3 and 4 of the 10 habits of all successful people. These are not mere skills. They are your armor, your edge, your readiness to face the storm. Resistance will test you, but you are not powerless. Feel the weight of your purpose. Grip your resolve. This battle is yours to win, and today you learn how to stand unyielding against the chaos. Let's march into the fray together, for the path to greatness is carved through struggle, and your blade must be sharp to cut through the noise. Picture yourself as a writer hunched over a worn desk, the dim light of a single lamp casting shadows on a stack of rejection letters. Each one stings like a blade to the chest. Not original enough, not marketable, not for us. You've poured your soul into every word, every story, only to be met with silence or scorn. The temptation to quit gnaws at you. Why keep writing when the world seems to scream? Give up your dream of publishing a masterpiece feels like a distant star, unreachable, mocking. Yet deep within an ember burns a refusal to be extinguished. You pick up your pen again. You rewrite. You submit. Another rejection. Another. But you don't stop. You can't. Like a warrior sharpening a blade, each no-hounds your craft strips away doubt and builds an unbreakable resolve. Years pass. The stack of rejections grows, but so does your skill. One day a letter arrives, not a rejection, but an acceptance. Your manuscript, once dismissed, is now a masterpiece in the making. It hits the shelves and readers weep over the words you nearly buried. The lesson is raw, and real resilience isn't about avoiding pain. It's about enduring the grind until your edge is lethal. As Stephen King once said, amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. You didn't wait for permission. You forged your path through rejection's fire, and that's why you stand victorious. Resistance bowed to your persistence, and your blade, your unrelenting, will cut through. Now imagine yourself as a business owner, your desk a battlefield littered with digital debris. Notifications ping relentlessly, emails, messages, social media alerts. Each one pulls you from your vision, scattering your thoughts like leaves in a storm. You started this venture with a clear goal to build something meaningful, something lasting, but now you're drowning in minutia. A client needs a reply, a post needs a like, a trend demands attention. Hours slip away, and at day's end, you've moved no closer to your purpose. Resistance has taken a new form: distraction. It's a silent thief stealing your time, your focus, your dreams. But you pause, you breathe. You remember the warrior's discipline, the act of sharpening a blade before battle. You decide to reclaim your fortress. You turn off notifications. You set a sacred hour each morning for deep work, no interruptions, no excuses. You prioritize ruthlessly focusing only on what moves the needle. Slowly the fog clears. Projects that lingered for months are completed. Clients notice your renewed clarity. Revenue climbs. You've taken back your time, your mind, your mission. The lesson shines like polished steel. Focus is not a gift. It's a choice. As Cal Newport reminds us in Deep Work Clarity, about what matters provides clarity about what does not. You sharpen your focus, cutting away the noise, and in doing so, you turn distraction into dust. Resistance lost this round because you chose to guard your purpose. Let's step back and gaze into the heart of the struggle. Resilience is not a shield you're born with. It's a blade you forge in the fire of adversity. Think about the setbacks you faced, those moments when the world seemed to conspire against you. A failed project, a shattered dream, a door slammed in your face. How many times have you wanted to surrender, to lay down your weapon and walk away? Yet here you are, still standing. Why? Because pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Each blow, each scar shapes you into something stronger, something unbreakable. Consider the warrior on the eve of battle. They don't curse the grindstone for its roughness. They embrace it, knowing it sharpens their blade for the fight ahead. So too must you embrace hardship. Resilience is the habit of turning wounds into wisdom, of rising when every muscle screams to stay down. It's the quiet voice that whispers, "One more try," when the world shouts, "Give up." Ask yourself, how many dreams have you buried under the weight of a single no? How many battles could you have won if you'd stood just one moment longer? The truth is, success is not a gift bestowed on the lucky. It's a prize claimed by the relentless. Forge your resilience in the heat of struggle, and no force of resistance can dull your edge. Now turn your gaze inward to the battlefield of the mind. Focus is your fortress, a stronghold against the endless siege of distraction. In a world that bombards you with noise, endless alerts, fleeting trends, hollow urgencies, your ability to center yourself is your greatest weapon. Like a river carving through stone, focus is slow, deliberate, unstoppable. It doesn't scatter its force, it channels it into a single powerful current. Why then do you allow your attention to fragment? Why do you let trivialities breach your walls? Picture the warrior again, their blade gleaming under the dawn. They don't swing wildly at shadows. They strike with precision, with intent. So must you. Focus is the habit of saying no to the unimportant so you can say yes to your purpose. It's the discipline of guarding your time as fiercely as a sentinel guards a gate. Reflect on this. What distractions have stolen your progress? What could you achieve if you reclaim just 1 hour a day for your true calling? Resistance thrives on chaos, but focus is your counterstrike. Build your fortress brick by brick, moment by moment, and let no triviality tear it down. Your blade of clarity will carve through the noise, leaving only your vision standing tall. When resistance hits, and it will, don't brace for a grand heroic stand. Start small. Build resilience through tiny, deliberate acts of defiance against doubt. First, when rejection or failure stings, pause. Don't react in the heat of despair. Take a deep breath and write down one reason to keep going. Maybe it's a memory of why you started, or a vision of who you'll become. Anchor yourself in that purpose. Second, set a micro goal for the day, something achievable, like drafting one paragraph or making one call. Completing it, no matter how small, is a strike against surrender. Third, reflect each night. Ask, what did I endure today? What did I learn? Turn pain into power by seeing it as progress. These steps aren't glamorous, but they're steel in your spine. They build the habit of resilience, training you to stand when the storm rages. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Seek that seed, nurture it. Let each small win sharpen your blade, preparing you for the larger battles ahead. Resistance will falter when it sees you refuse to break. Focus is a muscle, and like any muscle, it strengthens with intentional training. Begin by identifying your sacred hour, a block of time each day, reserved for your most important work. Guard it fiercely. Turn off notifications. Silence your phone, close the door. Let nothing breach this space. Next, prioritize with ruthless clarity. Write down your top 3 tasks for the day, only those that align with your core vision. Ignore the rest. They are distractions in disguise. Finally, use a timer. Work in focused bursts, 25 minutes of unbroken effort, followed by a 5-minute break. This rhythm builds momentum without burnout. These actions are your grindstones sharpening your mind against the dulling force of chaos. Resistance thrives on scattered energy, but focus cuts it down. Practice this daily and watch how your productivity soars, how your purpose emerges from the fog. You are the warrior and your time is your blade. Hone it, wield it, and let no distractions stand in your way. You've walked through the battlefield of resistance, felt its weight, and emerged stronger. You've seen how Resilience Habit 3 turns setbacks into stepping stones, as the writer did rising from rejection to triumph. You've learned how Focus Habit 4 reclaims your power from distraction, as the business owner did rebuilding their fortress of purpose. The key lesson is this: resistance is inevitable, but it is not invincible. Like a warrior sharpening a blade, you must hone your discipline, your readiness to face every challenge with an unbreakable edge. Success is not a destination free of struggle. It's a path forged through it. Carry these habits forward, for they are your weapons, your armor, your victory. As we prepare to explore the next habits of successful people, remember that each battle builds you. Keep your grip firm, your gaze steady. The war against resistance is never fully won, but with resilience and focus, you are always ready for the fight. Let this be your creed as you move ahead, a reminder of your strength, your purpose, your unyielding will. Final mantra: sharpen your blade. Resistance falls to the prepared. Picture a river, relentless and unyielding, winding through a landscape of unmovable stone. Day after day it flows quiet, steady, seemingly powerless against the towering rock. Yet over time the stone yields. A path emerges carved by nothing more than persistence. This, my friend, is the quiet power of consistency in learning the silent engines that drive you toward lasting success. You may not see the canyon forming beneath your efforts today, but every drop of sweat, every lesson embraced is cutting a way forward where none existed before. In the grand journey of mastering the 10 habits of all successful people, we now stand at the heart of habits 5 and 6, consistency and learning. These are not the loud, flashy traits that garner applause. They don't promise overnight triumphs or instant glory. No, they are the undercurrents, the unseen forces that shape your destiny when the spotlight fades. They demand you show up even when motivation wanes and open your mind even when failure stings. Are you ready to wield their power, to let persistence and growth become your greatest allies? Let's dive into the depths of these habits and uncover how they forge paths to greatness, one steady step, one hard-earned lesson at a time. Imagine yourself as a student staring down a subject that feels like a mountain of impossibility. Calculus, perhaps, or a foreign language. Its rules and symbols, a tangled wilderness. You sit at your desk on day one notebook, open heart pounding with ambition. But as days turn to weeks, the thrill fades. The equations mock you. The words refuse to stick. You're tired. You're uninspired. Voices whisper, "Why bother? You're not getting it." Walk away. Yet something in you, a flicker of resolve, refuses to quit. You show up every single day. Even when your mind begs for rest, even when progress feels like a myth, you open that book. You solve one problem, then another. Months pass. The mountain doesn't shrink, but your footing grows surer. One day you solve a problem that once seemed impossible, then a chapter, then an entire test. You realize the summit isn't a distant dream, it's beneath your feet. You've climbed it not with bursts of brilliance, but with the quiet grind of showing up. Like a river cutting through stone, your daily effort carved a path through the impossible. The lesson burns bright: consistency isn't about feeling ready, it's about moving forward even when the current feels weak. Success isn't a sprint, it's the slow, steady erosion of every obstacle in your way. Now picture yourself as a professional new to a role that tests every inch of your capability. You're in a boardroom pitching an idea, and the feedback cuts deep. Your data lacks depth, they say. Your delivery needs work. Each word stings like a hammer, striking raw iron. Your instinct is to retreat, to hide from the critique, to pretend it doesn't matter. But deep down, you know the truth: growth lives on the other side of discomfort. So you choose to learn, you seek more feedback, you ask questions, you study your craft late into the night, dissecting every mistake like a sculptor refining rough stone. Over time, something shifts. The next pitch isn't perfect, but it's stronger. The data is sharper, the delivery smoother. Weaknesses that once defined you become strengths forged in the fire of humility. You stand taller not because you avoided failure, but because you embraced it as a teacher. Like a river wearing down stone, your willingness to learn day by day, critique by critique, carved a path to mastery. The takeaway echoes in your bones. Learning isn't a one-time event, it's a current that shapes you if only you let it flow. Let's pause and reflect. Consistency and learning are not the habits of instant gratification. They don't dazzle or demand attention. They are the river, not the storm, quiet, persistent, almost invisible in their work. Yet consider this: how many mountains have been torn apart by a single tempest, and how many canyons have been sculpted by the steady drip of water over centuries. Success is not built on fleeting bursts of effort or sudden epiphanies. It's crafted in the mundane, in the moments you choose to show up when no one is watching, in the quiet hours you spend learning what others ignore. Think about your own journey. How many times have you stopped just before the breakthrough, mistaking silence for stagnation? How often have you shied away from a lesson because it came wrapped in pain? The river teaches us patience. It reminds us that every small act, every page read, every mistake corrected, adds to a force that cannot be stopped. You are that river. Your consistency is the current. Your learning is the depth. Trust in their power even when the stone before you seems unbreakable. As Jim Rohn once said, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. Let that sink in. Your path is being carved even now. Dive deeper with me. Learning at its core is an act of surrender. It's admitting you don't know everything. It's stepping into the forge of failure, knowing the heat will burn before it shapes. But isn't that where strength is born? A blade isn't tempered by comfort, it's hammered, heated, and cooled until it's unbreakable. So too with you. Every misstep, every critique, every moment of doubt is a strike that refines you. Consistency keeps you in the forge day after day, refusing to let you walk away before the work is done. Have you ever considered what you've lost by dodging hard truths? How many skills, how many victories have slipped through your fingers because you feared the sting of growth? Learning is not a passive act. It's a choice to lean into discomfort, to let failure be your guide rather than your jailer. Like a river smoothing jagged rock, your persistent pursuit of knowledge turns flaws into facets of brilliance. Embrace the heat. Stay the course. Your sharpest edges are being honed even if you can't yet see the gleam. Now let's ground this in action. Consistency isn't a gift, it's a muscle you build. Start small, but start now. Choose one area of your life, be it a skill, a project, or a personal goal, and commit to showing up every day, even for just 10 minutes. Feel unmotivated? That's fine. Sit down anyway. Write one sentence. Solve one problem. The act matters more than the outcome. Over time, those 10 minutes become an hour, and that hour becomes a habit etched into your being. When the urge to quit creeps in, pause. Ask yourself, am I one step from the breakthrough? Write down one reason to keep going, a vision, a purpose, a promise to yourself. Let that reason be your anchor. Remember, a river doesn't carve stone in a day. It flows without fanfare, without doubt. Be that river. Show up. As Atomic Habits author James Clear reminds us, habits compound over time. Small changes create big results. Your daily effort is compounding even when you can't see the canyon forming. Keep flowing. Learning, too, demands intention. Make it your mission to seek one lesson every day, no matter how small. After a failure, don't hide, reflect. Write down what went wrong and one thing you can do better next time. After a success, ask, what worked and how can I repeat it? Seek feedback like a miner hunting for gold. Ask mentors, peers, even critics. How can I improve? Their words may sting, but they are the tools that shape you. Set aside time each week to study your craft. Read a book, watch a tutorial, practice a skill. Treat learning as a non-negotiable, like eating or breathing. When doubt whispers that you're not enough, silence it with action. Pick up the pen. Open the app. Take the next step. A river doesn't question its path, it simply moves. You must do the same. Growth isn't a destination. It's the current that carries you forward. Let it flow through you every single day. One final thought before we close. Consistency and learning are not just habits, they are the very essence of progress. They are the timeless current that moves humanity forward, from the first stone tools to towering skyscrapers. Think of the architects who built cathedrals over generations, laying bricks they'd never see finished. Think of the scholars who wrestled with questions for decades, passing their notes to those who would solve them. Their secret was not genius, it was the quiet resolve to keep moving, to keep seeking. Where in your life are you tempted to stop, to declare the stone too hard, the path too long? What if the next drop of effort, the next lesson learned, is the one that breaks through? You are part of that timeless current. Your persistence, your hunger to grow, is carving a legacy even if the world doesn't yet see it. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. You are being forged. Trust the process. Let the river of your effort flow on. As we step back from the river's edge, let's anchor ourselves in the truth we've uncovered. The quiet power of consistency and learning. Habits 5 and 6 of all successful people is the force that shapes destinies. They are not loud or glamorous, but they are unstoppable. Through the student who mastered the mountain of a complex subject and the professional who turned weakness to steel, we've seen how persistent effort and a hunger for growth carve paths where none existed. Through reflection, we've felt the river's patience, the forge's heat, the timeless current of progress. And through action, we've armed ourselves with steps to build these habits into our lives. The key lesson is clear success is not a sudden leap, but a steady current. Show up, learn, and keep flowing, and no obstacle will stand in your way. As you move forward, carry this mantra in your heart, a reminder of the power within you. Let it echo in the quiet moments when doubt creeps in and the stone feels unyielding. You are the river. Your consistency and learning are the current. Keep flowing and the path will emerge. In the next chapter of our journey through the 10 habits of all successful people, we'll explore new horizons of growth and strength. Until then, trust your current. The canyon is forming beneath your feet. Final mantra: flow on. Your persistence carves the impossible. Picture yourself on a jagged cliff, the wind howling as a storm rages across the endless sea. Waves crash below, threatening to swallow you whole, and the darkness obscures every path forward. Yet amidst the chaos, a lighthouse stands, unyielding its beam, piercing the night, a silent promise of safe harbor. You are not lost, not if you hold to its light. In the journey to success, change is the storm, and isolation is the cliff. But adaptability and connection, these are your lighthouse guiding you through the tempests of life. Welcome to a pivotal chapter in our exploration of the 10 habits of all successful people. Here we dive into the strength of connection, where habits 7 and 8, adaptability and relationships, become your anchors. You will not just survive the storms of uncertainty, you will harness them to sail toward greatness. These habits are not mere tools. They are the very essence of resilience and growth. Feel the urgency now, for the world waits for no one. Are you ready to turn chaos into opportunity, to transform solitude into strength? Let's stand together at the edge of this storm and discover how to navigate it with unshakable purpose. Imagine you're an entrepreneur, your dream business teetering on the brink of collapse. You've poured years into a small tech startup, crafting an app you believed would change lives. But the market shifts, a global crisis hits, and your target audience vanishes overnight. Revenue plummets. Investors pull out. Every morning you wake to a gnawing dread, wondering if this is the end. You could cling to the old plan, the one you bled for, or you could let go. You pause, you breathe, and in that moment of raw vulnerability, you choose to adapt. You scour data, listen to the whispers of a changing world, and pivot. Instead of an app for leisure, you redesign it for remote work solutions, a need born from the crisis. Sleepless nights follow as you rebuild, but slowly users return, revenue creeps upward. A year later, your company isn't just surviving, it's thriving stronger than ever. What saved you, not stubbornness, but adaptability, a willingness to bend like a reed in the wind, to see the storm not as a destroyer, but as a sculptor carving a new path. This is the lighthouse in your storm. Adaptability isn't surrender, it's strategy. It's the guiding beam that shows you where to turn when the waves threaten to break you. As Napoleon Hill once said, "Do not wait, the time will never be just right." Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. You didn't wait for the storm to pass. You learned to sail through it, and in doing so, you found a harbor you never imagined. Now picture yourself as a leader climbing the steep ascent of ambition alone. You've launched a community project, a vision to uplift those around you, but the weight of every decision rests on your shoulders. Meetings drag on with no progress. Volunteers drift away. Self-doubt creeps in like a shadow at dusk. Why isn't this working? You're a solitary figure on that cliff, the storm of failure looming, and you wonder if you're enough. For months you grind in silence, too proud to ask for help until exhaustion forces you to stop. One day you reach out. You call an old mentor, join a network of like-minded leaders, and share your struggles over coffee with a peer who's been there. Their insights cut through your fog like a beacon. They challenge your blind spots, offer resources, and remind you that no one summits a mountain alone. With their support, you restructure your approach. Volunteers return inspired by your renewed energy. Your project blooms not because you were a lone hero, but because you built a circle of strength. Relationships became your lighthouse, illuminating paths you couldn't see on your own. The lesson burns bright: connection is power. You don't rise by hiding your scars. You rise by sharing them with those who've walked the same jagged roads. In the storm of struggle, your network is the steady beam guiding you to shore. Never forget, you are not an island, but a harbor waiting to be built. Let's step back and gaze into the heart of adaptability. It's not just a skill, it's a way of being, a quiet rebellion against the rigidity that chains so many to failure. Life is a relentless ocean, its tides shifting without warning. One moment you're sailing smooth waters, the next a squall upends everything you've built. Will you cling to a sinking ship, or will you carve a new vessel from the wreckage? Adaptability is your inner compass, recalibrating when the stars disappear, pointing you toward uncharted but necessary horizons. Think of the lighthouse in your storm. It doesn't stop the waves, it shows you how to navigate them. Adaptability is that light teaching you to bend without breaking, to see every disruption as a door. How many times have you resisted change, fearing the unknown, only to realize later it was the very force that forged your strength? Painful pivots are not punishments, they are invitations to grow. When the ground shifts beneath you, don't stand still. Move, adjust. Trust that the storm is not your enemy, but your teacher, shaping you into someone who can weather anything. Now turn your gaze to relationships, the unseen anchors that hold you steady when the gales howl loudest. Success is not a solo journey. It's a tapestry woven with the threads of those who believe in you, challenge you, and lift you when you stumble. Isolation is a silent storm, eroding even the strongest wills. You may think you can climb alone, but why scale a cliff with bleeding hands when others hold ropes to pull you up? Connection is not weakness. It's the bedrock of triumph. Picture that lighthouse again, standing firm on a lonely shore. Its light doesn't just guide you. It reminds you that someone built it, someone maintains it, someone cares enough to ensure you're not lost. Relationships are that human lighthouse. A network of hands and hearts illuminating your darkest hours. Have you ever considered how many victories you owe to a kind word, a shared idea, or a moment of trust? We are not meant to weather life's tempests in solitude. Seek your tribe. Build your harbor. Let their light guide you and in turn become a beacon for others. When change storms in threatening to shatter your plans, don't freeze. Act with purpose. First, pause and assess, a step back from the chaos, and ask yourself, what has shifted and what can I control? Write down 3 elements of the situation you can influence, no matter how small. This anchors you, turning panic into focus. Next, seek new perspectives. Read, listen, or ask someone outside your circle for insight. A fresh lens often reveals paths you couldn't see. Then experiment without fear. Test a small pivot, adjust one aspect of your approach, and measure the result. If it fails, learn. If it works, build on it. Finally, commit to flexibility as a daily habit. Each morning, remind yourself, I will bend, not break. I will find a way. As Jim Rohn wisely noted, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Adaptability isn't about abandoning your vision. It's about finding new roads to reach it. Stand firm like that lighthouse, but let its beam guide you to safer waters. Connection doesn't happen by accident. It's a deliberate act of courage. Start by identifying 3 people in your life or industry who inspire you. Reach out with sincerity. Send a message, ask for a quick chat, or offer value first, like sharing a resource. Don't fear rejection. Vulnerability is the seed of trust. Next, commit to consistency. Schedule regular check-ins, even if it's a brief call every month. Relationships grow through small, steady investments of time and care. Then diversify your circle. Seek mentors who've walked ahead of you, peers who challenge you, and mentees who remind you of your purpose. Finally, give as much as you take, listen deeply, offer support, celebrate their wins. A network isn't a ladder to climb. It's a web of mutual strength. When the storm hits, these connections will be your lighthouse, their collective light guiding you through the darkest nights. Build them now before the waves rise. Let's linger on this truth. Adaptability and relationships are not separate forces, but a sacred dance. Chaos tests you, forcing you to bend or break, while community steadies you, reminding you why you fight. Together, they form the lighthouse in your storm, a dual beacon of resilience and belonging. Success is not a destination reached in isolation. It's a journey shared of victory, carved from the raw stone of change and the warm embrace of connection. Have you ever noticed how the hardest storms reveal who stands by you, or how a single shift in perspective born from a trusted voice can transform despair into determination? We are forged in the crucible of change, but we are polished by the hands of those who see our potential. Embrace the storm, for it teaches you to adapt. Cherish your circle, for it teaches you to endure. Let this dance guide you. Step boldly into the unknown, knowing you are never truly alone. As we step back from the cliff's edge, the storm still rages, but you are no longer lost. You've seen how adaptability turns chaos into opportunity, how relationships transform solitude into strength. These twin habits, number 7 and 8 among the 10 habits of all successful people, are your lighthouse cutting through the darkest nights of uncertainty. The key lesson burns bright: success is not a solitary summit or a rigid path. It is a harbor built through flexibility and fellowship, a safe shore reached by navigating change with the support of others. Reflect on the entrepreneur who pivoted through crisis, the leader who rose through connection. Their stories are yours, waiting to be written. Carry this truth forward, adapt with courage, connect with heart, and no storm will ever break you. As we prepare to explore the next habits in our journey, hold fast to this guiding light. Let it steady you, inspire you, and remind you of the power within and around you. Final mantra: stand as the lighthouse. Guide and be guided through every storm. Picture yourself at the jagged edge of a towering mountain, the wind howling as it claws at your weary frame. You've climbed for what feels like a lifetime, each step a battle against doubt, each foothold a triumph over despair. Your hands are calloused, your heart heavy with the weight of every sacrifice. You've reached a summit, yes, but is this the peak you sought, or does an emptiness linger, a hollow echo in the vast expanse of your achievements? This, my friend, is where the true ascent begins. In the journey of success, the final climb isn't about more accolades or louder applause. It's about anchoring your soul with gratitude and aligning your every effort with unshakable purpose. Welcome to the summit of purpose, the crowning chapter of the 10 habits of all successful people. Here, habits 9 and 10. Gratitude and purpose become your compass and your flame, guiding you not just to succeed, but to sustain that success and carve a legacy that outlives you. Feel the chill of this altitude. Let it awaken you. You're not just climbing for yourself now, you're scaling heights to light the way for others. Are you ready to plant your flag on this sacred ground? Imagine you're a driven entrepreneur, a name whispered with awe in boardrooms and beyond. You've built an empire from the ashes of nothing, late nights, missed birthdays, a relentless hunger fueling every decision. Your bank account swells, awards line your walls, and yet as you stand in your glass-walled office overlooking the city, a void gnaws at your core. The mountain you've scaled feels like a barren peak stripped of meaning. You've conquered the climb, but for what? The applause fades and the silence asks a brutal question. Was it worth it? This was the reality for Maya, a tech founder who turned a garage idea into a global brand. She'd summited her mountain, but at the top she found no peace. Sleepless nights morphed into existential dread. Then one evening she stumbled upon an old journal from her early days, scribbled dreams, desperate hopes, and a note of thanks to her first mentor. As she read, tears fell. She remembered the fire of those struggles, the kindness of strangers who believed in her, the sheer miracle of every small win. Maya paused. She chose to feel gratitude not for the destination, but for the climb itself. She began writing letters to her early supporters, thanking them. She started a fund to mentor young dreamers like she once was. And slowly, the hollow peak transformed into a plateau of fulfillment. Gratitude became her anchor, rooting her success in something deeper than numbers or fame. The lesson here, tied to our mountain ascent, is clear: the summit isn't the end. Success without gratitude is a cold, lonely height. You must look back at the path, the bruises, the allies, the storms you weathered, and honor it. As Maya learned, the gratitude turns a barren peak into a garden of meaning. It sustains you, reminding you why you began the climb at all. And in this, you touch the essence of our takeaway. True success is not just reaching the top, but finding joy in the journey and purpose in the view. Now picture a different climber, a visionary named Elias who didn't just want to reach the summit, he wanted to build a lighthouse there for others, lost in the fog of their own ascents. Elias was an architect, not of buildings, but of ideas. He'd spent years crafting sustainable solutions for communities in need. Yet his work felt scattered like stones tossed into a vast river with no current to guide them. He'd climbed high, but his efforts lacked a unifying flame. One day, while visiting a struggling village, he'd helped a child, thanked him with a drawing, a simple sketch of a lighthouse. That image struck him like lightning on the mountaintop. Elias realized his purpose wasn't just to solve problems, but to inspire hope, to show others they could build their own paths up the mountain. From that moment, Elias aligned every project with a deeper mission to empower others to rise. He spoke at schools, shared his blueprints freely, and rallied teams around a vision of collective ascent. His success wasn't measured in personal gain, but in the sparks he ignited in others. His mountain became a beacon visible for miles, guiding countless climbers through their own storms. Purpose became his North Star, ensuring his climb wasn't just a solitary victory, but a legacy etched into the very rock of the earth. Through Elias, we see the power of purpose as the ultimate habit of success. Like a mountain ascent, success demands grit and preparation, but purpose transforms that climb into a mission. It's not enough to reach the top, you must know why you're there. As our takeaway reminds us, true success is sustained by a vision that outlives your footprints, a purpose that turns your summit into a signal fire for others. Let's pause on this windswept ledge and reflect. Gratitude is not a fleeting emotion. It is the bedrock beneath your mountain, the unseen force that holds every step steady. Without it, your achievements are but crumbling shale destined to erode under the weight of time. Think about it. How often have you chased the next peak blind to the beauty of the path you've already carved? How many hands lifted you when your strength faltered, yet went unthanked in your rush to climb higher? Gratitude is your tether binding you to the reality of your journey. It reminds you that every storm you've endured, every scar you bear, is a testament to your resilience. It teaches you to see success not as a solitary crown, but as a shared harvest sown by countless seeds of kindness, grit, and chance. Picture your life as a mountain range, each peak a milestone, each valley a lesson. Gratitude is the river that runs through it all, nourishing the soil of your soul. It doesn't erase the pain of the climb, it reframes it. Pain becomes proof of your strength. Loss becomes a teacher of value. As you stand on this summit, look down. See the faces of those who cheered you on, the obstacles you overcame, the small victories that felt insignificant then, but monumental now. Feel the warmth of gratitude ignite within you. It's not just about saying thank you, it's about living it. When you anchor your success in gratitude, you build a foundation that no storm can shake. Your climb gains meaning, and your success becomes a gift, not a burden. Now turn your gaze upward to the endless sky above this summit. Purpose is the flame that burns in the heart of every successful soul, the light that guides you when the path grows dark. It's not a destination, it's a question that echoes through every step. Why do you climb success without purpose is a hollow shell, a peak shrouded in mist, with no horizon to inspire you. Purpose is the wind at your back, urging you forward not for glory, but for impact. It's the realization that your mountain isn't just yours, it's a beacon for others, a testament to what's possible when you align your efforts with a mission greater than yourself. Consider the mountain ascent itself. Every successful climber prepares with intention, mapping the route, packing the gear, training the body. But the greatest preparation is knowing why you climb. Is it to prove something to yourself, to lift others with you, to leave a trail for generations to follow? Purpose transforms the grind into a pilgrimage. It turns setbacks into stepping stones, failures into fuel. As Tony Robbins once said, people are not lazy. They simply have impotent goals, that is, goals that do not inspire them. Without purpose, your climb is a mechanical march. With it, every step pulses with meaning. So ask yourself now, what is the flame that drives you? What legacy will your summit illuminate? Let purpose be your eternal fire, burning through doubt, fatigue, and fear until your mountain stands as a monument to something timeless. Let's get practical. Gratitude isn't a vague feeling to summon on a whim. It's a habit, a muscle you must train to sustain your success. Start small, but start now. Each evening before the weight of the day fades, take 5 minutes to write down 3 things you're thankful for from your climb. They don't have to be grand. Perhaps it's a kind word from a colleague, a moment of quiet clarity, or simply the strength to keep going. Be specific. Name the person, the feeling, the lesson. This act of reflection roots you in the present, reminding you that even on the steepest slopes, there are gifts to be found. Next, express it. Once a week, reach out to someone who's helped you on your journey, a mentor, a friend, even a stranger, whose small act of kindness shifted your path. Tell them what their support meant. Write a note, send a message, or speak it face to face. This isn't just about them. It's about rewiring your mind to see abundance over scarcity. Finally, when doubt creeps in, and it will pause, look back at your written gratitudes. Let them be your anchor, proof that you've weathered storms before. As Oprah Winfrey often emphasizes, be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. Gratitude is your shield against emptiness. Wield it daily and watch how it transforms your summit into a sanctuary. Purpose, too, demands action. It's not enough to dream of a higher mission. You must forge it into your daily climb. Begin by asking yourself a simple, piercing question. What impact do I want to leave on this mountain of life? Write your answer without overthinking. Let it be raw. Maybe it's to inspire others through your art, to solve a problem that haunts your community, or to build a family rooted in love. Whatever it is, let it be your North Star. Revisit this statement monthly, refining it as you grow. Then align your actions. Each week, choose one task, big or small, that serves this purpose. If your mission is to empower others, mentor a struggling peer. If it's to innovate, dedicate time to a passion project that solves a real need. Track these actions. They're the steps that build your lighthouse. Finally, share your purpose. Speak it aloud to trusted allies, not for validation, but to solidify your commitment. As Stephen Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, begin with the end in mind. Purpose is your end, your ultimate summit. Live it in every choice, every sacrifice, and watch how it sustains your success, turning your climb into a legacy that echoes through the valleys below. As we stand together on this summit of purpose, let the lessons of gratitude and purpose settle into your bones. You've seen through Maya how gratitude transforms a hollow victory into a heartfelt triumph, honoring the journey that shaped you. Through Elias, you've witnessed purpose as the flame that turns personal success into a beacon for others. These final habits, gratitude and purpose, are not mere add-ons to your climb. They are the very air that sustains you at this altitude. They ensure your success isn't fleeting, but enduring, not selfish, but shared. Our takeaway rings true. True success is not just reaching the top, but finding joy in the journey and purpose in the view. As you prepare to carry these habits into the broader landscape of your life, remember that the mountain never truly ends. New peaks await, new storms will test you. But with gratitude as your foundation and purpose as your flame, no height is beyond your reach. Let's gear up for what's next, knowing the greatest climbs are still ahead. Final mantra: stand tall. Your summit lights the way for others.